All right, Simply Bitcoin. We break down the news from Twitter, the daily fail, the meme review, software releases, and the websites by plebes or plebs. Drop us a like, subscribe. Let's go. Number time.
Number time!
At the time of this recording, the block height is 689,951. The Bitcoin price, 33,970. Chain rewrite days, 1,113. Total public lightning capacity, 1,689.55. Bitcoin versus gold market cap, 5.45%. And the sats per dollar, 2,944. Creeping up slowly.
Creeping up slowly. Just another day, bro, consolidating at these prices. It's always a good time to stack. And yeah. And by the way, guys, we are cooking up something.
We are?
Phil and I were talking about it today, right? We might
work.
We've been hearing your feedback in the comments on how to improve the dashboard metrics, and well, we're gonna surprise you guys in a couple weeks. But anyways, Phil, it's time for
the daily fail. All right, so this was actually fellow Bitcoin and toxic pleb Aoi that brought this to my attention. He was like, he's like, I'm surprised that nobody is freaking out over ETH L2. And I'm like, I didn't even hear that Ethereum finally gave up and decided that they need to scale. And, if they're going to be a shitcoin playing pretend, then they should at least pretend for real and build a second layer, So anyways, so he put me onto some tweets, and let's dive into this. It looks like somebody is finally starting to cave and realizing that their shitcoin can't scale. Okay. And look, I'm not going to pretend that I'm an expert in this. I'm not an expert at Ethereum. I don't understand the complexities of Ethereum. So I'm going to do my best with this. I really don't spend a lot of time on Ethereum at all. So here we go. Evan Van Mess, EIP 1559, mostly abstracts gas fees away from the user. Interesting. So they're going to move fees somewhere else. Much of the complexity will be pushed to wallets away from users. All users have to do is pay the base fee. This should also help app devs not deal with so many frustrated users when their transactions get stuck. Yeah, that's right. Okay, anybody who's ever actually used this shitcoin knows that you can actually do a transaction and it won't go through. You'll think it went through, and then like 2 hours later, you can try your transaction again. Yeah, because when I was a shitcoiner, I tried stuff. And gas made no sense to me. I didn't understand why they called it gwei. I don't get any of this crap, okay? All this stuff is weird, okay? It just makes no sense. Anyways, let's continue, okay? Let's continue away from this. I got to go to the next one. All right. So, David Hoffman, right? He actually, I don't know if he still co-hosts that show with CK. But, CK's the Bitcoiner on the show and he's the shitcoiner. I don't know if they still do that show. But anyways, I'm also ready to capitulate to L2 too. Polygon is heavily politically aligned with Ethereum, and ultimately these are social structures we are creating here. Yeah, centralization sucks, huh, bud?
Mm-hmm.
Centralization, now you need a whole another layer. Political alignment checks the box for being called a layer 2 to whatever thing it is attempting to scale. Okay. And now this is, I love how they right away jump into the magician shit, okay? They haven't even fucking built an L2, okay? They're not even anywhere close to this crap, and here we go. Wells Fargo's internal ledger, but instead as a layer 2 roll-up on Ethereum. Why the fuck why does everybody think that traditional finance is crappy enough as it is? Why do they think that it needs to go onto something even crappier? That's like really even, I almost feel that it's even more centralized, but I may be wrong. Anyways, okay, so let's take a look over here. Okay, this is the piece that I found pretty interesting. That again, this is why it's not money. This is why it's a freaking playground. Here we go. ETH burn precludes fixed supply. Ooh. By burning the base fee, we can no longer guarantee a fixed token supply. P.S. You couldn't guarantee it now. This could result in economic instability as the long-term supply of ETH will no longer be constant over time. While a valid concern, you think? it is difficult to quantify how much of an impact this will have. I mean, like, really?
They sound like central bankers.
It's you know what, and I mean, don't get me wrong, okay, but like, this is, hold on a second, let me scroll up, because I need to show this, okay. This is the discussion that this EIP, this Ethereum improvement shit connected to, okay. Look at the name of this thing, Ethereum magicians. That's right. That's no. They're not magicians. Okay. They're illusionists. Okay. Illusionists are very different. Okay. I mean, like, look, come on. Are you kidding me? Like, you already don't have fixed supply now. Like, and you're talking about being worried about fixed supply in the future. It's already a concern. You already can't verify circulating supply. There's already no hard cap. And this is going to introduce more volatility into it.
And more complexity, right? And because it's more complex, because it's going to require more hardware resources to run a node, it's going to make it less decentralized, right? Like, it's just so much. Look, Bitcoin is simple for a reason, right? Like, it's literally, look, 21 million. That's it. There's only going to be over 21 million. You could verify the supply. You could run the numbers. You could do it on your own. If you run a node, it's very easy to do. Try doing that with Ethereum. Try it. It's absurd, dude. It's just crazy. And people, like, it's like they're peddling this as an equal to Bitcoin. And it's just like, dude, like, look at their language. It sounds like central banking. That sounds like modern monetary theory, but it's shitcoin monetary theory. That's what it looks like to me.
It really is. It's shitcoin vocabulary, right? For the financial world. And it's like, are you kidding me? Like, this is all hocus pocus. It really is. So now you're going to build an L2 on top of an L1 that is already unstable and unknown. And you think that this is somehow going to help people. And like, look at what they have to do. They essentially have to do this so that app developers don't have to deal with problems building their apps against this crap.
Yep.
So, I mean, like, you really got to think about this. Like, is this really, do you want to be storing your time that you've exchanged for value on this shit chain? They just told you that there's going to be a problem with the stability of it. There's already, it's like they just told you that there's going to be this problem.
Dude, I'm telling you, dude, like, when I hear those words, I'm like, dude, this sounds like a press release from Jerome Powell. Like, it sounds like it's the same. Look, I know it's different. Okay. I know it's not exactly the same, but it just kind of gives me those vibes. Right. And it's like, you look at Bitcoin, it's the simple thing. Right. And look, there's only 21 million. It works. Right. There's no crazy fucking, bips. I love how they stole the bips and they just took away the B and they put the E. It's just,
of course, they steal everything.
It's so funny, dude. Oh my God.
The only thing, they steal everything. They steal the memes, they steal the names. But I just, again, right? I'm reading this. By burning the base fee, we can no longer guarantee fixed token supply. This could result in economic instability as the long-term supply of ETH will no longer be constant over time. So building more complexity, creating more points of failure. And you really think that this is where you want to store value?
It's because they're focusing more on the tech narrative than building a good foundational base layer, right? Because that is the most important part to do, right? And you want
VC shit.
Exactly, right? It sounds like VC shit, man. But it's, oh man, epic fail, another epic fail. But
shout out to Owie, he hooked us up.
Shout out to Owie, right? But anyways, Phil, it's time for
the daily meme review.
All right, everybody, the meme for today. It's not really, I mean, it is a meme. It's fucking hilarious. Anyways,
it became a meme.
It became a meme. Let's check it out. It was by a fellow plebe, Neil McCod.
Neil Michaud?
Yeah, thank you, Phil. Nico can't read. Episode.
No, it's not can't read. It's Canadian last name, I think.
575. Okay. Anyways, you can follow him at NDM1973. Let's check it out. It's by Raw Avocado. By the way, he has a YouTube channel. definitely go check it out. Alex Watts YouTube channel. Just search Alex Watts on YouTube. It will pop up. He's a fellow plebe. Anyways, let's get to the meme. So Ledger, just to give a little bit of context, Ledger had a huge data breach, okay? And a bunch of people's addresses and emails got leaked all over the internet. We've talked about it many times on this show, right? They were sending fake ledgers to anybody, just to give people context. What's the funniest thing you've ever that you've seen on crypto Twitter? And someone replying, "My name and address from your data leaks." Dude, amazing. Shout out Raw Avocado. That was an excellent meme. And because it was an excellent meme, I'm going to give it a framed Citadel Volume 1.
I can't
Citadel
beat
21
that shit.
magazine. Anyways, Phil, what are you going to give it?
I can't beat that shit. Okay, so I also want to mention great response, right, from Captain Mutatu. He's a fellow Bitcoiner. Great response. And yes, that was absolutely hilarious and so well done. And for that, because it was so multifaceted, I am going to give it this essentially multi-drive connector. See, it's got all different kinds of drives that you can connect, and you can even do old ass floppy drives. That's right. For some people watching this, like your parents probably used floppy drives.
Boom!
It's ancient shit.
Hey, but it's a good score. It's a good score. Anyways, guys, do you agree with the score? Do you disagree? Let us know down in the comments. Rate the meme. But anyways, Phil, it's time for
the Daily News, sponsored by
Crypto Cloaks.
All right, guys, I'm going to take you down a journey today, continuing the Elon Musk fail saga. Anyways, check this out. Listen, Elon Musk was talking all this crap about Bitcoin. We also saw the same thing about Charlie Munger, right? But check out this new article, right? It looks like Elon's asking for the same things that Charlie Munger was saying, right? Anyways, let's check it out. Elon Musk's fading relationship with the Chinese Communist Party for the better part of the last 18 months. And while we could barely guess what the temperature of the ever-changing relationship is today, one thing seems certain. Musk and the Chinese government are growing closer. Continue article. Musk, in true CCP form, reportedly asked the Chinese government to censor the company's critics, right? And remember,
he's a shitcoiner.
He's a shitcoiner, but he's also, right? He's also in the pocket of the CCP, right? And we also saw the CCP recently crack down on Bitcoin, right? So could it be that the person, like I said, that tapped on Elon's shoulder? I'm speculating here, but perhaps there's a link there, right? And let me point out some more evidence, right? This came out today. This was a huge. This broke out. I saw no one talking about it on Bitcoin Twitter, so might as well talk about it. Nasdaq listed Weibo Corp chairman and Chinese state investor plan to take over China's answer to Twitter. Right, so Weibo is the Twitter version of Weibo is the Twitter version in China, right? But check this out, right? So the Chinese government, the CCP, is consolidating power, right? And there's this awesome tweet by Blockworks that perfectly describes this, right? China bans Facebook, creates Weibo. Remember, this is what I just talked about. They just consolidated, right? So it's a public
and they're
company,
taking it private.
And they're taking it private, right? They're bringing it in-house, right?
That's right.
China bans YouTube, creates Youku. China bans Google, creates Baidu. China bans WhatsApp, creates WeChat. Now let's check out the last one. China bans Bitcoin, creates eYuan. Right? So the Chinese government, now we know for sure, because I saw a tweet by Mr. Hodl. It's like, why would the Chinese government ban Bitcoin mining? It makes absolutely no sense. The reason for that, Phil, is because they're consolidating power, right? They're taking Weibo private, right? Again, consolidating power. They want full control, right? And again, this kind of matches, right, why they would ban Bitcoin, because again, they're creating their own version of a central bank digital currency. Now, could it be, right, based on this recent report, right, could it be that Elon had some prior knowledge of this announcement that was coming from the Chinese Communist Party, and perhaps that's one of the reasons that he was flooding Bitcoin? Think about it, right? Think about it. Very interesting, right? Because it clearly, when I saw that, Phil, I got chills. I'm like, the Chinese Communist Party right now, what they're doing is that they're consolidating power, right? That's why they're taking the Twitter version, the Chinese Twitter version private, right? They want the state government, the Chinese Communist Party wants complete control, right? And again, they did the same thing with Bitcoin mining. They don't want freedom money within its borders, right? Which I think is a great mistake. It's going to cost them trillions in the long run, right? But that would explain, right? You know, like if you start to put the pieces together, it kind of explains their strategy. And we know Elon's in their pockets based on that article and based on a lot of other evidence that we've pointed out before, especially the episode that we showed you the video of Charlie Munger, right? Like, could it be? You know, again, this is speculation, but again, there's no conspiracies, but there's also no coincidences. Anyways, Phil?
You know what? Governments that censor the most require censorship-resistant money the most. And why is that? Or I should say the people require censorship-resistant money the most. And this is exactly why, right? Like you can see, you painted the perfect picture. You could see it right there. They're consolidating power. Elon, I mean, look, at first, we didn't quite understand what was happening, right? When we first started to see these tweets, but then it became painfully apparent, right? So we can see he's in their pocket, and of course, right? Look, at the end of the day, you know, like whether people want to accept it or not, this guy lives off of government money.
Yes.
So of course he quote unquote agrees with their ideals and the way that they see things. So, you know, we'll say that if the people that are helping to make his access to money easier, if they decide that he needs to change his narrative, then he is going to. And if you ask me, that is exactly what happened.
Yep.
Like he may, you know, he may be deep inside, like on a personal level into Bitcoin, but he now has to tout a very different message. And you can see his message has just gone, you know, completely upside down. And actually, you know what? His fudding Bitcoin about energy really ended up bringing out so much great material, okay, about so many other industries, right, that waste so much more energy that are not even being looked at, and they're doing it not actually producing anything as important as Bitcoin.
Absolutely.
Right? Like they aren't, it's not helping to secure freedom money network. You know, it's making useless plastic shit that ends up in a dump. Yep. So come on, you know. Anyways,
look
Elon.
Again. We did the same thing. We did the same thing. You know, with the Build Back Better. We did the same thing with you know, the Great Reset, the 2030. You own nothing. We were reporting that 6 months. You know, 6 months before Tucker Carlson even talked about it. Before it became mainstream. Again, this was an observation today when I saw that article, you know, by Reuters. I'm like, dude, okay, wait a second. There's too many connections here, okay? Like, what's going on here, right? So, anyways, it's brought to your attention, you know, the Elon, you know, might have been tapped. You know, we originally thought that it might have been, you know, from the Biden administration, but Elon might have been tapped by the CCP before they did that total China FUD. You know, this maybe could have been coordinated, but again,
there's no coincidences.
This is speculation. We'll keep you guys up to date if there's more developing news. But yeah, interesting observation. Definitely keep your eye on it. But Phil, there was a software release today. Why don't you tell everybody about it?
Software releases. All right, we've got Mempool, which is a explorer, a Bitcoin explorer, right? So you can take a look at blocks, fees. Anyways, Mempool version 2.2.0 was released, and it's down below in the show notes.
Awesome. Thank you, Phil. All right, guys, that was our show. You know what to do. If you enjoyed the show, smash that like button. And of course, if you want to continue hearing the Bitcoin news from the pleb perspective and the catastrophic fiat and shitcoin fails, definitely consider subscribing, and we will see you tomorrow for another episode of Simply Bitcoin.
Don't drink the Kool-Aid.